FTX is a major financial player, and they do a little bit of everything, a little bit of the money transmission stuff, a little bit of the market making stuff, a little bit of the trading stuff, and they were led by Sam Brinkman-Fried. And SBF, as we all call him in the industry, was recently going on a tycoon surge. Throughout this year, he made or attempted to make many high profile acquisitions, like the Voyager acquisition, for example. Now, Sam, on paper, apparently was worth quite a bit of money. He was a deca billionaire, so technically had assets over $10 billion. And the books of his organizations cumulatively were over that much as well. It looks like what's occurred is that FTX was, through a series of transitive relationships, closer to what occurred with Luna than people let on. So Luna, as many of you know, when it collapsed, created a cascading series of failures for things like Three Arrows Capital and others, and it's created an enormous amount of instability in the market that the market is still attempting to digest. There's an asset called Alameda that had a relationship with FTX, and that asset apparently got a bit too much value, and it's created a liquidity problem for Sam's empire. And it may be the case, that, and more will be discovered soon, that he's insolvent and as a result requires a bailout or acquisition, basically a shotgun wedding to continue operations. And if he doesn't get that bailout, that there's a good possibility that his FTX will go out of business. It'll get liquidated. Much in these things tends to get discovered. So Binance has made an offer. They've signed a non-binding letter of intent based upon due diligence. And as due diligence is done, oftentimes things are discovered and uncomfortable things, especially the relationship, financially speaking, of the founders to the entities, as well as how funds were used and how much risk exists within the entities. There is a non-zero probability that the acquisition proposal that Binance has put on the table to bail out FTX, to acquire it, will not succeed because it will fail due diligence. This is often the case in many distressed assets. That when people look at them, they discover that they're far more distressed than they thought. If that's the case, because of the size and scale of FTX, it's very likely that that will cascade through the cryptocurrency market. Now, my firm, we had no involvement, exposure, or connection to any of these things, so we didn't lose any money. Cardano doesn't have any dApps or DeFi that really touched anything related to the Luna ecosystem or the yield products that were very popular but highly unstable in the Ethereum ecosystem. So effectively speaking, this does not directly impact the Cardano ecosystem. But as members of the broader cryptocurrency space, this will likely cause issues for all of us. In particular, there is the case that FTX has been lobbying very heavily in Washington, D.C. Their failure could change the political landscape in unpredictable ways. It was my belief that a red wave would occur today, and early indications of the election are that that is the case, with just to the magnitude of it. And based upon that magnitude, it was my belief that legislation would pass that would be inspired from things like the Stat Now proposal from the U.S. Senate, things like the Financial Innovation Act, and so forth. The issues here are that should we see more systemic failures, there could be a belief for more regulatory scrutiny or more draconian laws to be passed to enable that scrutiny. The failure of FTX could result in that, which could in turn more badly damage the industry. And many cases offshore the American cryptocurrency industry. So this is not a minor event.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works. Because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Cryptoteacher and the new Road Order book. The new Road Order book is going to show you how the world works. It is definitely time to wake up out of your sleep in the times that we're in right now. Plus, guys, we know we're waiting on that next main event towards the end of the year. Like I told you, that would happen. Don't forget this is Shemitah year. And then also, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 Kids books. It's definitely time to re-educate. And also, those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon, much love, keep it coming. Do not forget I have the New World Order cryptos in my Patreon. Do your own research, but going inside of a bear market, you definitely want the cryptos that have real use cases. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we have Bitcoin and cryptos taking a beating. We also have stocks down. Now, guys, we know bad news, good news, at least it is better than no news. Bitcoin is back in the limelight. But I also want to make sure we understand something. This whole crypto market is only 800 million. Apple is 2 trillion. But right now, CNBC is constantly talking about crypto. They even said that crypto is leading stocks down on the worry of a liquidity crisis. Now, if you listen to Charles Hoskins or if you listen to Binance's CZ, yes, they talk about FTX, but then what do they move over to? Politics, regulation. We know the Fed is going to be using this situation in order to move in their CBDCs and their stable coins. I let you know beforehand, a distraction was definitely coming. It came. I let you know beforehand, cryptos and stocks are going to be brought to their knees, but the NWO stocks and cryptos are going to rise. And we know that as part of the 4th Industrial Revolution. If we look at the investors of FTX, and then also the companies that FTX invested in, they should never, ever have a liquidity crisis. Just saying SoftBank and BlackRock should shut everyone up. And we know Binance's CZ was going to be giving $500 million to Elon. And what does Elon do today? File the paperwork to bring payments to Twitter. This is all part of a bigger plan, so they can bring in the robots, algorithms, and drones that are going to be paying each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. Now, Binance's CZ says he didn't master plan the FTX collapse, and I agree with him 100%. He didn't plan it, but he definitely was an actor inside the movie. Because, guys, we know if 2 big companies like Binance and FTX are negotiating, they're negotiating behind the scene. It's not going to be on Twitter. When the Bankman and CZ said they came up with a deal, you saw the actual Solana and FTT token start to move up right along with BNB. And then they really pulled the rug. And this hit all cryptos. Cryptos that have absolutely no exposure to any of it got dumped. And the tweets, the articles, the news media made it seem like the deal was already done. And of course, they know people are going to buy. And like I stated, then they pulled the rug. And now you see the article saying, hey, the deal may not happen. But guys, we see the central bank's fingerprints all over this. Because now we're getting who coming out? That's right, the politicians. And when you're constantly seeing it on CNBC, you know I tell you, it was all planned out. But guys, do not fall for the distractions. Just make sure you're paying attention to the actual indicators. We have yield rate slightly down, the dollar up. We have volume, we have tether. And then, of course, we had Jeremy come out and say they have no exposure to FTX. But we know Circle has been working with FTX and Alameda probably for about a couple years. And we also have Jeremy say the FTX crisis was like a Lehman Brothers moment. You heard that correct, guys. We are seeing all the NWO puppets are definitely coming out. And then, of course, guys, we have the Fed. Repo still over 2.2 trillion. And we know these central banks are responsible for this Binance and FTX movie that's going on right now. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And if anyone asks you, tell them the crypto teacher told you. The central banks have to move in their CBDCs and stablecoins in order to keep control of this financial system. This situation right here has nothing to do with liquidity. We see all the big corporations surrounded by FTX. Right now, the crypto market has no regulation, and we know that is for a reason. We know that's the reason why Gary Gensler sits there and does nothing. His job was to kick the can down the road. And then on top of it, guys, like I stated, the masses are not invested in crypto, so they could care less. But guys, now that the actual elections are over, like I told you, the games will begin. And we still have over 21,000 cryptos. And we know only a half of 1% are going to be left. And we know the central banks are going to ride this event so they can ride in their programmable money. Now, guys, I've been over all the billionaires. I've been over all the fund managers. And every last one of them stated that the bottom was in. We're in a crypto spring. I can go to all these major YouTube channels that have interviewed all these major hedge fund guys that have been saying the same thing. But you know, on this channel, I give you the truth, nothing but the truth. Yes, the truth hurts, but it sets you free. I told you the bottom wasn't in yet. And I'm telling you now, the bottom is not in yet. But the fact is, we will bounce off of this. And then in the first quarter of next year, we know we're going to take another dump. Which month is going to happen? I have no idea. I won't know until we get closer. But January, February, March, we always have a big pullback in stocks and cryptos. I'm not your financial advisor, not financial advice. Please do your own research. And the key is your own research. But guys, like I stated, because of midterms is over, the Hegelian dialectic is about to be stepped up. And then also, guys, make sure you're keeping an eye on the debt ceiling, because that's going to be a conversation going on next year. And we know if things don't work out, the government is going to shut down. And that may be the best entry in order to move in this new financial system, because we already know what they're going to say. The United States is broke. But guys, please do not fall for the distractions. Stay focused. Keep your eye on the money and understand sometimes you have to sit back and watch the movie. Get your popcorn so therefore you can see things play out. And we're clearly seeing things play out. Now, guys, don't forget about Grayscale, which dropped $2 billion. And we know that's not by chance. They move lockstep with the Fed. But guys, getting over into a little crypto news. We have MetaMask allows to move tokens on multiple blockchains with new DApp. And guys, we know it's all about interoperability. Now we have 1 billion of Solana set to be unlocked. And we know that's going to put more pressure. But remember, guys, what I always say, when it comes to staking and you're moving into a bear market, you never know what's going to happen, especially when things are locked and you have that lockup period. And lastly, guys, we have Facebook Meta joins the big tech layoffs. Over 11,000 people. And guys, what are these corporations getting ready for? That's right, that 15% tax. That's the reason why they're getting rid of half now and half later. Remember, it's all about forecasting. For the last 10 to 15 years, these corporations have been getting free money. No more free money. And then on top of it, we know the NWO's agenda. They're ready to take the people out of the workforce and bring in the machines. And we know Bitcoin and cryptos and these big tech stocks are part of the fourth industrial revolution. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.